Good evening to all of you. Shabbat Shalom, and welcome once again to our virtual service.
Our service this evening will begin in your virtual prayer book on page 362, as we'll join together in Shir Kaddish, sing a new song to God. Page 362 in the virtual prayer book, or if you happen to have an actual physical prayer book, it would be on page 648.
We continue now with the lighting of the Shabbat candles. The candle lighting service is found on page 20 of the virtual prayer book. And just as a reminder, on the lower left corner of that prayer book, you will see a block, a square, and in that square you can type in the page number, and that will lead you to the page that we are on. Page 20, or in our actual prayer book, page 120. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of all the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adlik ner, le'adlik ner shel Shabbat. We continue now with the songs of Kabbalat Shabbat, beginning with Romamu on page 35. Even during these difficult times, it's important for us to try to find a little bit of joy. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'ar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'ar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai We continue on page 138 in the prayer book, or page 38 on your computer, as we welcome the Sabbath bride with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabla. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabla. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmi'anu elam yuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabla. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi makor habracha, meirosh migadem nesucha, sof maaseh b'machshava techila. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabla. Hitoreri, kiva orech kumi ori, shir dabiri, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabla. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola. Toch emunei am segula, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabla. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabla. We continue now with the Chatzi Kaddish on page 44. Yitkada v'yikadash Shemei Rabbah, Belmad divarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayeichon u'v'yomeichon u'v'chayei decho Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv, ve'imeru amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevorach, le'alam ulal me'amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yinaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal, Shemei dekudsha berichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran belma, ve'imeru, Amen.
Let us rise now for the Baruch Hu, the call to worship, page 146 of our actual prayer book, 46 in our virtual prayer books.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
On the next page, let us read together. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. may be seated as we continue with the Via Havta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. On the next page, standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe that what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות, עושה פלא, נורא תהילות, עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים. זעילי, ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. We continue with Hashkivenu on page 60. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amideinu shomreinu lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amideinu shomreinu lechaim. Ushmor tzeiteinu uvoenu lechaim ushalom ne'ata ve'ad olam. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amideinu shomreinu lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amideinu shomreinu lechaim. And on page 62, we rejoice in the joy of Shabbat with Vishamru. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. Let us rise now for the tefillah, page 64 of our virtual prayer books.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avot Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Yimachot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Meimit, Umachayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'neman Atah L'Hachayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol, Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yahalelucha Selah, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
You may be seated. On page 73, we read, "May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Kaddish Shabbat." On page 74, Ritzay.
Ritzay Adonai Eloheinu, Me'amecha Yisrael, U'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel, U'te'ileratzon, Tamid avodat Yisrael,
We continue now with our prayer for peace, found on page 78.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atah לכל השלום, כי אתה הוא מלך אדום, לכל השלום, שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם, שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim
Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael, bashalom. At this time in our service, we ask for God's healing upon all those in need of healing, as we join together in singing our Misha Berach prayer in our virtual prayer books, page 271.
Misha Berach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
As we enter silent prayer, I would like to share with you a prayer that I have composed at this time of plague. O God, we beseech you at this time of plague. COVID-19 has brought so much death and misery to humanity, from the old to the young, to people of all colors and religions and ethnicities and nationalities. Families have been torn asunder. Hospitals are becoming overwhelmed with patients, and medical workers who themselves are becoming patients. Medical masks and ventilators are sorely needed, and lives and livelihoods have been lost. You have ordained that we live together as one human family, but this dreadful virus has forced us to live apart, in isolation from each other. We ask, O God, that our time will be soon, when health is restored to all people. Inspire doctors and scientists who are working tirelessly to find remedies. Fortify families no longer whole. Give courage to those who are fighting this virus that makes the simple act of breathing so difficult. And make us firm in our resolve to practice social distancing and hand washing, the two weapons that can presently be deployed against this insidious enemy. Teach us, O God, at this time of confusion, to recognize our common humanity, that we prosper only to the extent that we cooperate and care about each other. Show nations that this is the time to put pettiness and rivalry aside, and give us a spirit of selflessness as we reach out to the most vulnerable in our human family. Grant our leaders discernment and sensitivity as they lead us through this crisis. Keep our doctors and our nurses and our medical personnel healthy, so that they may be true to their calling in helping us, and show all of us the beauty of creating a world where we are indeed the keepers of each other. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, O God, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. Let us pause now for a moment of silent prayer.
We continue on page 45.
Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, unripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days, lest my days be as the one before, lest routine set my ways. Lamdeni Elohai, Barech v'hitpalel, Lamed et tzivtotai, Bracha v'shir halel, Lamdeni Elohai, Barech v'hitpalel, Lamed et tzivtotai, Bracha v'shir halel.
So many of us recall as children wanting to have a little ray of light in our bedrooms as we fell asleep. And then, as parents and grandparents, hearing the same request. Dad, please leave the door open slightly so that I can see the hall light. Mom, can you make sure that the night light is on? Light is security. God decrees light at the very beginning of creation. The skies are filled with lightning when the Torah is given at Mount Sinai. The Israelites had light in their dwellings when Egypt was surrounded by darkness, and they traveled securely at night in a pillar of fire, providing them with much-needed light. We can see our fears are lessened, our hopes raised, and our determination fortified. Light represents all that is good, positive, and optimistic. This is our third streamed Shabbat service, and we are learning that the darkness of COVID-19 is most likely ahead of us. There is some light as scientists fervently work to find medical remedies and vaccines that have an ameliorating effect on the symptoms of COVID-19. But right now, it feels as if we are in a dark room. The only weapons we have against this insidious, invisible enemy are hand washing and social distancing. But even with such mitigating measures, this pandemic could potentially kill thousands and thousands and thousands of people. A liturgical piece tells us that we need light when gloom darkens our lives. Where shall we find that light when we are bombarded with depressing news stories and feelings of hopelessness? The Torah provides us with some guidance. In our Torah portion this week, the priests of Israel are required to keep the flame on the sacrificial altar burning continuously. The biblical command states it this way: Eish tamid tukad al hamizbeach lo tichbeh. A continuous fire shall burn upon the altar. It shall not be extinguished. A closer look at this biblical verse reveals that it is unnecessarily redundant. If a continuous fire should burn on the altar, obviously it should not be extinguished. Why duplicate what has already been stated? A midrash from a collection known as Sifra tries to address this dilemma. The word continuous is stated, the midrash says, because the altar is to be kept burning even on the Sabbath, even if the priests are in an impure state, and even when the altar is transported as the Israelites move from place to place. But what is clarified by this midrash? Continuous, not to be extinguished, means all the time, regardless of whether the altar is being moved or the priests are in an impure state, or whether it is Shabbat. Why this emphasis that the light must be kept burning in these particular situations? Why? Because maintaining the flame was hard work, and it would have been easy to look for excuses to not tend to the light. It's Shabbat, and I'm off today. I'm not worthy or able. I've got my own problems. I'm not there. What can I do from so far away? What this midrash teaches us is that regardless of the day or the circumstances or our location, we can and must do the hard work of being a light to others. Yes, we'd rather not prepare a meal for a more vulnerable neighbor, but if we don't, the light is extinguished. Yes, it would be easier to simply take care of ourselves, but if we choose that path, the light goes out. We are so far away from others, but when we say that what is happening in another community, in another state, is their problem and not ours, the light goes out. Helping others keeps the flame burning properly and brightly. Donating to keep shelters clean and pantries full keeps the light burning. Supporting organizations that help feed students who depend on school lunches keeps the flame from being extinguished. A story is told about a man who had 3 sons, but he was not certain who should manage the family business. He presented an empty room to each of his sons and then told them that they had to fill every square inch of the room as much as possible. The first son brought in wagons and wheelbarrows of dirt and began filling the room. By evening, the room was filled from top to bottom. The second son stood in front of the door of his empty warehouse and began filling it with boxes of paper and cardboard. Before too long, that room was also filled from top to bottom. The last son stood in front of his empty warehouse, and to the amazement of his brothers, he did nothing. There were no carts or wagons to be seen. As night came, the bright young man asked his family to join him in the room. Removing a match from his pocket, he lit a candle, and suddenly every square inch of the room was filled with light. Eish tamid tukad al hamizbeach lo tichbeh. A continuous fire shall burn upon the altar. It shall not be extinguished. Each of us are small lights, but one act of kindness, one act of concern, one expression of empathy, one donation can make a world of difference and ultimately makes a different world. Stay well, stay safe, stay at home, and keep the lights in your souls burning bright. Shabbat Shalom. Before we move into our concluding prayers, the Aleinu, I would like to remind you that if you are not receiving emails from the temple, please make sure that you are doing so that you can be informed of our many different classes and activities that are taking place online. Again, if you know of anybody in need, if any of our congregation needs something, please make sure to call us at the temple office so that we can be there for you. We turn now to the Aleinu. In our virtual prayer book, it can be found on page 300. You may rise. And you may be seated. we continue with our memorial prayers. There are stars up above so far away, we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. At this sacred moment of our Shabbat worship, it is with great sadness that I announce the passing of our Rabbi Emeritus, Rabbi Alan Meir Sakobin, this afternoon. He brought his brilliant mind and his generosity of spirit to all of us and to every activity in the community, interfaith work, teaching at the university, in his legal work. All of us are bereft at hearing this news. Our hearts and our thoughts of condolence go to his family at this difficult time. May his memory always be a blessing. At this sacred moment, we think lovingly and longingly of Elaine Gilberg, Janet Gilberg, Stanley Rubin, Richard Sugarman, and Shirley Sugarman, also taken from us during recent days and weeks. And we name too at this time those whose yahrzeits, the anniversary of whose passing occurs, as we now recall Dorothy Baum, Fanny Benjamin, Isidore Berkowitz, Celia Y. Brown, Sam Casey, Mark H. Edelstein, Myra Z. Epstein, Jane Fleischer, Leonard Gallus, Alvin Goldstein, Lena Green, Meyer Greenfield, Dr. Walter I. Greenson, Sarah Hahn, Shirley R. Jaffe, Chester E. King, Bert Klein, Eleanor Friedlander Levy, William A. Miller, Stephen S. Mosbacher, David H. Mostov, Pearl Pettigene, Eugene H. Pincus, Cecile Prager, Louis H. Rappaport, Margaret Ellen Raskin, Dan Robbins, Ida Rothkin, Oscar J. Smith, Etya Sumajin, Belle Truhaft, and Joan Zigray. We turn now in our virtual prayer books to page 312 as we rise and sanctify the name of God with the words of the Kaddish. Page 598 in the actual prayer book if you are using that. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah Yelmad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon of yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman karev v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mivarach le'olam olamei almaya yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekud shah barichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shalom rabba min shemaya v'chayim, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, give comfort to all who are bereaved, here and everywhere, as together we say, Amen.
Our closing song this evening will be those closing words from the Kaddish, Ose Shalom, a prayer for peace. I hope you'll join with us.
Ose Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru Amen. Hu yaseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen. Ose Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru Amen. Ve'al kol Yisrael, Amen.
The Kiddush is found in our virtual prayer books on page 23. Please join together with us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lemasei v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'akarta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
We join together in Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom to all of you. We hope that you will join with us together next Friday on our internet as we have another stream service, and we hope it won't be too long before we are all together again as a congregation. Stay well.